Hello everyone, Free Indeed here, and today we are going to be talking about what the Bible says about abortion. And just so that no one can say that it's just another white man's opinion, I have my wife on. She is not a white man, she is an Italian woman. Italians are not white, for the record. So, we're going to be talking about abortion. So besides like the obvious verse, you shall not murder, Exodus 20:13. Besides that verse, there's a lot of other evidence in the Bible that says that we should not be aborting our babies or killing babies in general. So I'll give it to you, Tatiana. You tell the people why they're not allowed to abort anyone.
Well, in Leviticus 18:21, God says, "Do not give any of your children to be sacrificed to Molech, for you must not profane the name of your God. I am the Lord." Right there. Don't kill your babies for any reason. You're going against God's will. I am the Lord. Don't kill your babies.
Yeah, so Molech was one of the gods of the Canaanites, and the Canaanites were notorious for sacrificing their babies to Molech because they thought that it made them healthier and that the crops would grow and whatnot. Bunch of ridiculous stuff. But anyway, that's what they were doing, and God is saying here, don't be like them. Don't be killing your babies, right? Obviously. Now, Proverbs 6:16 says that there are 6 things that the Lord hates, 7 that are detestable to him, and among those 6 or 7, he says, hands that shed innocent blood. Now, I think we would all agree that babies are pretty innocent, so I think this would be another verse that would indicate that. Now, some people might say, hey, look, these are all verses about babies that are already born. Well, what about the babies that haven't been born? What about the ones that are still in the womb? It's just a fetus, it's just a clump of cells. What about those? Well, here we have 2 of the major prophets talking about how God knew them before they were even formed in the womb. Both Jeremiah and Isaiah say it. So read it to him, babe. Read it.
Well, in Jeremiah 1:4-5, it says, "Now the word of the Lord came to me, saying, Before I formed you in the womb, I knew you, and before you were born, I consecrated you. I appointed you a prophet to the nations." Isaiah 49:1, "The Lord called me from the womb, from the body of my mother, he named my name." He knows us even before we are conceived. And obviously life begins at conception, because what other time would it start? And God knows us and loves us even at that point. He doesn't want people killing the most innocent among us.
Yeah, I find it kind of interesting that even today that being, anti-abortion or pro-life or whatever you want to call it makes you a bad guy. You're the one who doesn't care. Because it's so backwards. It's so opposite of what the Bible talks about, and even just backwards in general. And it reminds me of this other verse in Isaiah that talks about justice and righteousness and truth, being absent in the street. And anyone who does speak truth in these situations becomes prey. It talks about how, truth is missing, and whoever turns from evil becomes prey. And that's kind of what it feels like right now to be someone who is not pro-abortion. People think, oh, you hate women, or you don't support women's rights or something like that. But I think it's kind of the opposite, that it's not about the woman in particular. It's really just about the baby and preserving the baby's life. So I think it's kind of ridiculous, but that's just me. So do you think it's a women's right? Do you think it's a women's rights issue, Tatiana?
No.
No?
Women, I get all the time when we're evangelizing, well, her right to choose. That right, yeah, okay, choose not to have sex. We know the consequences of having sex. It leads to babies. You don't have the right to kill anyone just because you made a bad decision that now you regret. And we do know at conception that baby has its own specific DNA. Where does half of that DNA come from? It comes from the man. What about the father of that child? No one ever talks about the father's right to choose to protect and preserve the life of their unborn baby. it just makes no sense, and it's very poorly thought through. And if you can't tell me when life begins, then you can't tell me that you can just end it whenever you feel like it and whenever it's convenient to you. So no, it's not your right to kill anyone.
So are there any verses in the Bible that specifically talk about a baby, being killed in the womb and what the consequences of that should be? And of course, yes, there is. It's Exodus 21, 22, and 23. It says, if people are fighting and hit a pregnant woman and she gives birth prematurely, but there is no serious injury, the offender must be fined whatever the woman's husband demands and the court allows. But if there is serious injury, you are to take life for a life. That means that if a pregnant woman is struck by two men who are fighting and that baby dies, both the men get put to death for that. It's life for a life. This is death penalty for murder. This is the exact same punishment for murder, okay? You kill a baby that's in the womb, life for a life. So, you do the math. I don't think I need to explain it, and there's all sorts of verses that talk about, being formed in the womb, and God knows you in the womb, and he fearfully, you're fearfully and wonderfully made. He knit you together in your mother's womb. There's all sorts of verses that talk about this. So God clearly knows you even while you're in the womb. And I'm reminded again of Jesus talking to the Pharisees. He says, you're the sons of Satan because you're a murderer. You've been a murderer from the beginning, just like your father Satan. And it's just like, that's what it feels like right now. All these people just like vilely talking about murdering babies, and they joke about it. And the amount of jokes I've seen about abortion, it's just like, take it seriously at least a little bit. But it's like I said, truth is absent in the streets, and anyone who speaks truth becomes prey. So that's just how it is right now. Any closing thoughts, babe?
Closing thoughts.
Yeah, hit him with it.
Yeah, hit him with it. Hit him with, well, as a pregnant woman myself.
Hey, don't tell him that. No, I'm just kidding.
Ooh, congratulations, free indeed.
They're not supposed to know I have sex.
It's in marriage. It is just a straight up lie. Anyone who says that they don't think it's a life, or they don't know, anyone who gets an abortion and says that, it is just a straight up delusion. It's a straight up lie. When you're pregnant, and what that baby is inside of you, even before you can feel anything. It is so beautiful and amazing, and people, the children of Satan, people who hate and love evil, they're crushing the most innocent among us and not even giving them a chance. There are going to be millions of unborn in heaven now because of these people, and they're on the fast track to hell. And we just have to pray for all of them, because it destroys the mothers too, and the fathers who decide to kill their children.
Yeah. Like I said, there's tons of verses. Like, a super common theme in the Bible is protecting the innocent, protecting the defenseless, right? Defending the cause of the widows and the orphans, right? All of these types of verses talk about defending the defenseless in your society. And once a society stops defending the cause of the defenseless, it will fall. And that's where we are now. We're totally in judgment in America.
That's what I was going to say.
Totally different video topic. But anyway, Bible says very clearly, don't murder, don't kill your babies, right? So, anyone who says that the Bible doesn't talk about abortion, just shut up, please. Nothing about what you're talking about. So ignorant. Anyway, so I think that's all I have to say. What about you? Anything else?
I think that's it. I think the only thing that we can do is pray and keep speaking the truth, even though that'll make us pray. Bring it on!
All right. Talk to you guys later.